How are you? All right. Hope everybody's doing great today. We're excited about the conversation and everything that's going to be happening. And if you want to join the conversation, just let us know. I'm doing fantastic. If you want to join the conversation, let us know. Now's the time. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. Just giving everybody a moment to be able to jump in. Hello, 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 everyone. This is Continue the Conversation broadcast, which is every Monday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am Jessica, your host, and I'm excited to be here today. As always, excited to see everything that's going on and how people are being receptive. And before I do anything else, I would love and appreciate you sharing this broadcast with your friends and family because I feel like we're going to talk about things that are going to be viable topics that will be connected to our purpose. And I feel like we're creating community, we're building purpose, establishing strategies to be successful in the long run. And I want you guys to be a part of that. So, first, please share this and then say hi in the comments, y'all. Hey, hello, everyone. I had Dante saying hi, but I guess he's gone now. But thank you for hopping in. Again, say hello. We try to have I try to have provocative conversation topics, and this one is provocative in a different way. And I feel like provocative provokes or stimulates certain things in you, and I want to be a part of that. And if you would like to join the conversation today, I got the lines open for you to hop on in the conversation. So I'll place the link inside of the comments so that you can be a part. So if anybody wants to hop in, just let me know. Anyway, we're discussing today accepting change. So, what do I mean when I'm talking about change? I'm talking about pushing ourselves to the outer limits, pushing ourselves to higher heights, deeper depths, without it sounding cliche or anything like that. But I want us to have a discussion about how do we function inside of change? Like, how does it come to us? How do we move through it? How do we exist in it? And I want to talk about that because I feel like there are so many things that are going on in our lives where I feel like we get stuck, we get stagnant. And I'll say that about myself. I know that me witnessing how people have functioned during this pandemic has been difficult because our hearts and minds are kind of paralyzed. First, we were paralyzed with fear. Then we're paralyzed with just the unknown, which enhances the fear that we're experiencing. Then we go through other additional cycles that just kind of like put us in this place of standstill. And it's hard because you want to be the one that says I persevered. You want to be the one that says that it didn't stop me or didn't make me feel bad or I didn't feel afraid. And sometimes that's just not true. We are human, and what we think and feel and see and experience affects us in a serious way. And I want to make sure that we are navigating through those things in an effective manner. Okay. And I have Instagram Live to my left. So if you see me turning to the left, it's because I'm speaking to all my wonderful people over there. But again, we're talking about accepting change. So for me, there's been a list of things that have happened to me over my life that have affected how I function, how I live, how I breathe, how I move. I'll say the first or the earliest memory was me losing my mom. I had to deal with that. I had to deal with how I functioned in relation to other people, how it made them uncomfortable, how they felt like I should be living a certain way, functioning a certain way, moving a certain way. And I had to just be okay with that. I had to be okay with people not wanting me to be, not wanting me to mourn, not wanting me to grieve, not wanting me to be a part of, I guess, everything. Like they didn't want me to be a part of everything. Like the mourning process, because they figured I was too young, so I didn't need to be a part of it. It was certain decisions that were made by people in my life where they told me that it just wasn't okay to just think and feel and be who I was. And I had to work through those things. Changes in my body was like another big thing. Like becoming, hitting puberty very early, certain things developing early. Uh, and I'm looking at my patterns, and I was kind of like an ostrich. I was there, but I didn't really want to connect to everything. I felt like it was it was okay for me to just kind of bury my head in the sand, which is ostriches are known for. They're known for their long necks and long legs and running around. But they're also known for when things become tight or uncomfortable or they become afraid, they bury their head in the sand. And I think I buried my head in the sand in a lot of ways. And engrossing myself in working in the church and ministry, I engrossed myself in food and things like that, finding comfort in those things as opposed to finding other mechanisms. So it was a mechanism, but it was a coping mechanism, just not one that might have been as healthy as it could have been. Focusing on other people and their relationships, allowing myself to become engrossed in other people's inconsistencies, and none of those things actually worked for me. I gained excessive weight. I dealt with all these different issues in regards to like interpersonal skills, being painfully shy in a lot of situations. I think becoming a late bloomer on purpose, I feel like I slowed down my maturity process on purpose to see if I would have time to reconcile these things. And it just was not working that great. If you're hopping in, please say hi in the comments. Please share this broadcast. I got a few announcements that are coming up later on, but I wanted to just talk to you guys about change. And I'm talking about how I processed change and how I processed moving through things in my adolescence, and it turned into very unhealthy habits in my adult life. So, like I said, losing my mom, then going into puberty extremely early, and then things developing, of these things. Hey, Tony. Certain attributes developing on my personal body that I just felt like I did not have control. Hey, Shani. Hey, Vashti. I just did not have control over what I felt like was my body. Like my training bra was not a training bra. My first bra was a C cup, and I know that's kind of an overshare for some people, but it was just like my body did its own thing, and I couldn't control it. I couldn't handle it. And then, of course, people make mention of it. It's very, 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 very obvious, of course. But then people were like, "Oh my God, you have big breasts." I'm like, "No, I've never, I've never noticed." And they're just saying, and I'm like 10, 12 years old. I have adults like, "Hey, you have really big boobs." Like, thanks. Thank you. I wasn't aware, but now that you said it, all right. Thank you. And so it was one of those situations where I had to constantly feel like I had to kind of um, recede or pull myself back so that I could um, be okay. But it was a way for me to hide. It was a way for me to bury myself again, like an ostrich, bury my head in the sand, but you can still see my entire body. It made no sense. So grief from my mother's loss, grief from just not having control over my body, which every adolescent feels like that at some point. You might feel like you're too thin and you flat chested. You might feel like your legs is too long and skinny. You might feel like your head is big. Right. I was shrinking myself, Shiny. And so it was one of those things where my coping mechanisms didn't actually help me cope. They only caused me to hide more. So it led to overeating. It led to being a recluse in a lot of ways. Like I didn't open up to very many people. Um, and even then, not a lot of trust. Then moving into adulthood or semi-adulthood, getting married. Hey, Miss Evans, getting married, moving into all those different things, and again, trying to hide myself inside the relationship, listening to people's opinions and their advice about what they felt like I should be doing with my life. I was married at 19, and I shrunk myself into that relationship. When that relationship ended, of course, immediate devastation. No, I haven't had a whole bunch of relationships before that time, and I had to kind of learn how to function, learn how to be, learn how to exist. And every time change happened, I kind of got knocked on my butt, and I just did not know how to deal. And so it took many years of me consistently failing or consistently experiencing disappointments. Then trying to protect myself and safeguarding myself from disappointments by saying, "Hey, I just won't interact. I won't connect. I won't take chances. I won't emerge. I won't get to know myself for real because I may not like what I find. I may not be happy with what I see." And those are things that I consistently dealt with that forced me into a place of extreme unhappiness. So again, my coping mechanisms were shrinking myself emotionally, but then expanding myself physically by gaining weight excessively, by immersing myself in ministry, but not actually engaging and connecting with people in real, viable, fortifiable relationships that I could carry over into other things. Y'all let me know some of your coping mechanisms in the chat. And if you'd like to join our chat, there is a link. Just let me know, click that link and it'll allow you to pop into the broadcast if you'd like to share some input. We're thinking of it as like a call-in situation. But you're more than welcome to jump in if you have some input. I'd love it. But yeah, for me, how I dealt with change up until that point, early adulthood, was just, again, continuously shrinking myself, continuously telling myself I wasn't enough, or I needed to let someone else take the front seat because the back seat was way more comfortable. There's more room. I don't have to do much. I don't have to take responsibility for anything. And there were times where there were individuals in leadership, because I did understand submitting to leadership. So when they said these things, it pushed me forward. So there was an instance where I was singing on a praise team, and there were other people that desired the lead spot, that wanted to do it, that had more talent, had more chutzpah, had more, that was the judge that was ready to like give it. Like, here you go, world, take this. I'm ready. And my pastor was like, nah, you do it. I was like, no, I don't want to. I would prefer not to. I'm great. I'm a good alto. I'm solid. I'm solid. We don't need to do all this extra. Why? Why is all this extra happening? I don't get it. I don't. And he was like, no, you do it. And would not budge. I was so angry with him because I was like, why would you make me, why would you push me? Why would you think that I should do this in the front of everyone? You see, everyone is watching me, right? It was like constant, just like, ugh, ugh, ugh. And it hurt my feelings first because I was like, I told you no. Why would you make me do it? But I was also ridiculously obedient. So I was like, okay. And it opened me up in a way where I discovered more of my voice, and it showed me how to work with other people. Um, it showed me how to work with other people and do other things. Someone is calling me. Obviously, they're not watching this broadcast, so they will not be calling me right now. And that is my Google phone still ringing, and I thought I turned it off. Anyway, okay, and it's just going to keep ringing. Anyway, so I had to push past all of that stuff. I had to make a decision that I was not going to continue um, living in that shell. And then that foundation led to growth in so many other ways. It led to some of the people that I know right now based on the opportunities and the fact that I was able to make other changes. If I hadn't have ever joined the Lifeline, I would have never met Shani. I don't think. I mean, maybe God would have set it up a different way, but there were so many different things on this journey that put me in a position where I had to painstakingly force myself to open up to change. So if you're just joining, hello, we're talking about accepting change. I'm talking about the process that I went through personally. Y'all know I'll be sharing my stuff, my little stories, and they may be insignificant to you, but they're a part of my journey and they're significant to me and how I move. So we're talking about accepting change. How do you grow from it? How do you live in it? How do you function in it? Do you cower down? Do you hide your head in the sand like an ostrich, like me? Jess does that. When I'm upset, I'm like, oh, I can't do it. I freak out. My head is going in the sand, and then it takes me, and then I'll like peek up and look over. I'm like, oh, okay, is the coast clear? It's not. Oh my god! And I put my head back down, and then eventually I come out and I do what I'm supposed to do. But tell me in the comments, how do you accept change? If you want to, like I said, we're doing like a pseudo little call-in show type situation. If you'd like to be a part of this conversation, I'm happy to have you. And all you got to do is click the link. I'm going to put it in the comments again. But click the link, say something to me, let me know that you're there. We would love for you to be a part. I'm going to have a couple announcements that are coming up in a few minutes. I'm not going to be here long. I just want to kind of talk about change. I'm reading this book. I love Kev on Stage. He's a clean comedian, influencer, blah, 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 blah. Him and his wife, they're reading this book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. The book is amazing. And it's simple foundational principles, but it's things that set you up to be able to flow and function in who your best self is. And I've been saying some of this stuff forever. Hey, Nisi. I've been saying some of this stuff forever in regards to walking. It's a disservice to God, or we dishonor God every time we don't tap into the potential that He's given us. Sometimes we feel like it's too much. I'm overwhelmed with all the things that I know how to do, or things that I want to do and I need to learn how to do. And a lot of times it's just you taking the leap. It's you moving into that plane where you stop doubting yourself and you put yourself in that big position. So I'm listening to it on Audible. because it's easier for me to do audiobooks instead of me sitting still. I can kind of listen while I'm working and moving around and all that good stuff. But it's an opportunity. Hey, Damar. It's an opportunity to be able to be connected in a way um, that we don't even realize. And it helps us to be connected to our purpose. And so right now, I'm interested in building purpose. I'm doing and making changes right now as we speak. I have things that are already in motion, already in play, because I want to see bigger, better, larger things happening for me and to me, because I need to see it. I need to feel it. And so if you want to access Audible, which is the audiobook for free, I think you can get the first 30 days free. It's about 5 hours worth of listening, but it's not bad at all. And it's just a very, you know, gentle, calming voice of a Caucasian man talking about growth and change and accepting a new belief system about yourself, seeing yourself in those places, taking a breath and taking on what it is that you need. But you can go on Audible for 30 days. I'm not sponsored or anything. Maybe one day, Lord, but I'm not sponsored. But Audible, you can go on for 30 days, get a free, 30-day subscription, and make sure you cancel it, set an alarm or something, because I can't help you pay for it. But I think it's like maybe $14.99 a month. But go on Audible, look up the Big Leap. You can listen to it for free, and it's only maybe 4 to 5 hours worth of listening, but it's not bad. And it's been helping me to be able to kind of set a plan and move forward. So again, I have a big announcement coming up. You don't want to miss it. It's really exciting. It's something I'm extremely proud of. I have a couple things that I want to talk about in regards to announcements. So please stay tuned. Please share this and please like this and let me know that you're here. Say hello in the comments. Let me know some of your coping mechanisms. Let me know some ways that you've incorporated change in your life. I want to hear from you. Oh, thank you, Devin. Love you too. Appreciate it. I appreciate you stopping in and saying something. Keep me in your prayers, please, by all means. Hey, brother, I was just talking about you, LJ, the other day. I'm gonna inbox you once this is over. I was just talking about you on yesterday, on Sunday. Anyway, so Shiny says I often sell myself short, shrink, shut down, cling to things no longer for me, etc. But I've been actively working on getting out of all those boxes I placed myself in. Such a process, but I'm grateful. I am right there with you, and that's what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm working on physical changes. I'm proud of you too, LJ. Oh, I love you. And it's all great things. None to be, none of the craziness. Uh, but I'm working on myself consistently, and it's like every day I'm like, nope, let's start over. Let's get that right. Let's not walk in fear. And often talk about imposter syndrome, where we are in these situations and positions, and we tell ourselves we don't belong there. And I've told this story before, but I was in a meeting a few months ago, and they were talking about initial investments and all these different things, and all this other stuff. And I was like, okay. And they asked me what my input was. I'm sitting there. Thank God it was a Zoom with no camera. Um, I was sitting there, and I'm like about to cry because they asked me a question, and all I had to say was, "I'm not prepared at this time, but I can give you an answer later." I was full stream, full weep, a full weep, because I was afraid to be able to share that I might have not have been financially qualified to be able to participate at that moment, which all I had to do was say so, and it didn't even matter because of the sweat equity that I'd already provided years past. They were like, "You already have shares in the company. You already have ownership. You already," and there was things that I already possessed, but I was walking in fear because I was afraid that I couldn't access it. I was afraid that I couldn't be who I was supposed to be. And so it sucked because I feel like I realized how many opportunities I have missed because I was afraid to function. I was afraid to just move, period. Backwards or forwards. I was just afraid to move. And so, speaking of moving, I talk about this often too. Moving to Georgia from California was a change that I needed. I needed to just separate from who I was with, who I was around, how I functioned, how I talked, who I spoke to. And even that took some time. The physical move of moving all of my things from one state to another was easy. It was the emotional ties. It was the strongholds that I was connected to. It was who I felt I owed explanations to, were the things that held me captive. And it still held me captive for like another year or so, because I was like, well, I got to do this, and I got to be there for this person, and I got to do that. And all those things were things that I had told myself. That was my inner dialogue, and none of those things made sense. Tony says, life has taught me to stop fighting change and just roll with it. Life is going to happen, go on regardless, have total trust in God and the ability He's given me. So scary, but do it anyway. It's made my life a lot easier. Exactly, Tony. Yes. And the thing is that I feel like Tony has an extraordinary, Shiny says, has an extraordinary story, and so does Tony, but for different reasons. Tony, can you share how old you were, what your life expectancy was supposed to be, and how old you are now? Because I don't want to get the numbers wrong. But Tony had a very short life expectancy due to an autoimmune disease known as sickle cell. And I remember her telling stories, and I met her when she was like in her mid-20s, I want to say, maybe something like that. But I've seen her function in the corporate world. I've seen her function in her fashion. I've seen her business grow and flourish, and being able to get recognition all over the country. I've seen her be able to go into partnership with her mom. I've seen her be able to do so many extraordinary things. Also, my brother LJ, he's a phenomenal musician who has played with literally everybody. Been on tour with the Tonys, one of my all-time favorite groups, and from the Bay. Been able to work through all these different things, and now being able to function and grow, and then seeing him blossom into his own sense of self. Those are growth journeys, which we all are on. So Tony's life expectancy was 3, then it was 6, then it was 9, then it was 14, and she is now 46. Don't tell me what God can't do, number one. And she had to be able to want to go on, because if somebody tells you you're only going to live to be this old, first of all, her mom had to be believing for her at some point so that she could be able to get to that point, right? And then she had to be able to adopt that faith as her own in order for her to continue to live. And for her to live to be 46 is absolutely phenomenal. When they literally counted her out. Big things happen when we get out of God's way. That's another great point, Shani. Now, Shani, I remember Shani and I having a conversation around 4 years ago. I used to do an event every year at Christmas time called Carolyn with Jess. And afterwards, we'd always end up having these conversations. And Shani was like, I'm going to move to LA. And I was like, do it, girl, do it. And I stood in such admiration because I was like, wow, she's moving to LA. Wow, this is so amazing. Then next thing I know, Shani, like a month later, was like, girl, never mind, I'm moving to China. I was like, China? I thought she was kidding. She was very serious, and moved to China for like 2 years. And I saw her do all these great things. She was singing in jazz clubs in China, and she was exploring, and she was teaching, and she's doing all these different things. And she's doing it on her own as a single woman, doing it fabulously, displaying her melanin, and again, expressing a huge sense of self. That doesn't mean that her journey was over. It just means that she was expressing herself in a way that a lot of people would never have the depth or the width or the breadth to be able to do. They wouldn't do it. They'd be like, China, that's too far. What about my auntie and my grandma, my cousin, and the deer that ran through the forest last week? We make excuses about the stuff that we don't feel comfortable functioning in or fulfilling, and then we allow it to frustrate us. And then I feel like the only result of that is paralysis, because we're like, if I make no decision is still a decision. I know I'm yelling to everyone here, the cathedral, the audience, the stadium that I'm speaking to right now. Got to speak that too. But no decision is still a decision. And so I stood in deep admiration for Shani Douglas as she took her trek to China and lived there for 2 years and flourished and did things. Were things perfect? I'm certain not. But she did get things done. Then Davina Kelly. Davina was also a source of inspiration. She moved to Georgia in 2016. And I know there were people trying to talk her out of it, trying to have interventions, tell her what she should and shouldn't do. And I remember her and I going to breakfast someplace in like Walnut Creek or something. It was a breakfast spot. Anyway, and we were eating breakfast, and Davina was like, I just need to do it. I need to change and I need to do it now. And she got on the good foot and made it happen. Like, she was like, okay, so this is my move out date. This is what's happening. My going away party is this day. I need to make sure that these things are going on. Thank you, Vashti. She said she's going to repost. And Davina was a source of inspiration for my move. And then she also put her money where her mouth was and helped me. Let me stay with her the first 6 weeks of my journey in Georgia. Has always been a support. She in my emergency contact, y'all. But she, but even if she wasn't, she still was a source of inspiration because she didn't wait on permission. She just did it. And so again, I have an announcement coming. I got some stuff going on that I've mentioned before, but I want you guys to be open to change, accept and change, even when it frustrates you, even when things don't go according to plan. Because there have been consistent challenges that I've experienced while being in Georgia, but none of those things, well, I would say that I was going to go back to California, but none of those things actually forced me to go back to California. None of those things actually like led me, because I know that a portion of my destiny is here. It don't mean I'm even be here forever. Like real talk. It does not mean that. However, it's an opportunity for me to be able to see myself, and I needed to be away from everything and everyone for the most part that I knew, to be able to see myself for real, to be able to see my daughter for real, for us to have moments together that are just ours, that aren't connected to somebody else and what they're doing and what they think and what they say. And I needed to be thousands of miles away to do that. And it wasn't even that somebody was imposing their will on me. It was just that I was so used to conceding to everything, to being connected to those things as opposed to my own original thoughts and ideas. And for me, things happen in phases and waves and stages, however you want to call that. And I had to be okay with that too. So again, I said the link is, if you would like to join the conversation, I'm gonna put the link in the comments as well. All you have to do is click it, and it'll it should add you to the situation. Um, so Shiny says, I love you, Jess, girl, all God, because I'll be scared to death every time I take a step, but not moving has proven way harder for me than the fear of taking a step. For real. Because when you don't move, again, no decision is a decision. And then you see things that God told you to do pass you by. You see people that you know that are less qualified than you, less talented, or whatever it is, that less. They're just less than in some way. And you miss it. I think I realize I'm putting in the wrong link. I'm putting in the one for YouTube and not for Facebook. But y'all share this anyway, and y'all inbox me and I can give you the link. Anyway, um, when you're functioning in all these things, or you see somebody else doing it, the feeling of regret is the worst to me. Regretting not making a decision. It's not even regretting making a decision, a decision, because at least I can be like, well, God, I tried. Girl, I tried. I tried. But the biggest thing has been watching somebody else do something that I know that I'm qualified to do and just not doing it because I was scared. I'm the one that punked out. I messed up. And it does not work that way. And Shani says, once you get a glimpse of the expansiveness of God, it's hard to go back living small. Exactly. That's real. Because it just feels foreign at that point. It feels alien. It feels counterintuitive, because you're like, I know that I could be a part of this. I know that I could connect to this. I know that there are things that I could experience that will allow me to change and be who I need to be. And I missed it because I was afraid. And I've had this happen more than once. I done dug my head in the sand a few times because I just was scared. And it's way worse to see what you knew you could do pass right by your face. Anyway, so let me just make a brief announcement right now. So, because I'm functioning in change and growth and moving forward, I'm experiencing new things myself. And so, one of those new things is that I'm branching out what I do here on Mondays, and I'm adding something to my repertoire. And that thing is, I want to expand to radio. So, I am doing a pilot season, which I've already uh, announced once before. I'm doing a pilot season on Hits 92.3, which is an online radio station. And I will be doing a radio show called Jesting and Things. So let me just put that it's on top of my face. But this is the logo. So I'll be posting more things on social media. So Facebook and Instagram and other places. But this is my new logo. That makes it official when you got your logo, girl. You'd be like, yes, that's me. What's up? Um, and I'm excited and I'm proud because it's an opportunity to be able to do things in a way that I did not anticipate. It's an opportunity to do things in a way that I did not anticipate. And I didn't know that I could. I didn't know that I had the capacity to do it. And I'm moving towards that place. And I want it to be something where you guys join me in that journey. So it's this Wednesday. So starting right out the gate, we making this thing happen. We're not waiting. I was trying to, like play around and try to do all this extra planning. And not that the planning is still not necessary, but I was going to plan myself out of an opportunity to be able to shine my light in a different way to further my reach. So, of course, in order for me to further my reach, y'all got to help me. Because with the engagement that I get here is all my family and friends, I will be appealing my. I'm going to be putting myself in a very vulnerable spot where I'm opening myself up to strangers. Everybody here knows me and loves me already. You think I'm the bee's knees, right? Right. But I have capacity for more, and I can't be afraid that people won't accept me. If they don't, then I just realized that those are not my people. But there are people out there that want to hear my voice, that want to hear what I have to say, and that will be connected to the vision that God has for me. Thank you so much. You guys are so sweet in the comments. Oh, and so I'm expanding in that way, and the growth is necessary. The growth is necessary because I know that there are more things inside of me that should be shared with the world, and I have to do it ASAP. I cannot wait. So that's a part of the big leap. So again, I'm reading a book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And the book is challenging me, pushing me into functioning in a more productive way where I'm using the expansiveness of God, which Shani mentioned earlier, and putting in and allowing it to, I'm experiencing it firsthand. I'm experiencing it firsthand. So I want to be connected. I want to see you guys there and tell your friends about it. Planning is good, but yes, Shani says planning is good, but sometimes we will plan ourselves right out of doing the dang thing. If that ain't the truth, and that's what was happening. I was trying to push it back to October, and the lady was like, "Look, you about to lose your spot. Yes or no?" I was like, "Yes, yes, yes, yes." Even afraid, because that's real courage. Is doing it afraid. It's not waiting until everything is absolutely perfect. Because if everything was absolutely perfect, a lot of us wouldn't have been here. Somebody would have been, not existing in whatever methods that we might take to not exist if everything were perfect. And we have to be willing to take those risks, take those chances, and experience things in that way. So I'm excited about growth. I'm excited about change. I'm excited about thank you, Davina, for posting it. It's The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. If you have an Audible subscription, or even if you don't, 30 days free. It's about a 5 hour listen, and it's Bible information that and it's not these brand new concepts, but it just kind of summarizes all the stuff that we should be doing. And a lot of times our high level problems are the ones where we're already experiencing expansiveness and growth. And they were like, well, if I do this is going to make somebody uncomfortable. If I do that, that's going to make somebody feel this way and that way. So that's me being able to afford going on vacation. And then I'm like, well, Shiny can go on vacation too, so I'm just not going to go. Go on that vacation by yourself, girl. Go on that vacation by yourself. Shiny went to China by herself. She didn't just go on vacation. She moved to China. Tony started a business, and we see her fashions plastered, literally prom season, New Year's Eve, weddings, special occasions, 50th birthdays, 16th birthdays. We see people moving and shaking. And I'm sure that there are many times that I don't know about, that both of these ladies experienced issues where they had to cry a little bit, like, I'm about to cry real quick in this bathroom, and I'm going out here and get it and function. Or I'm gonna have to go cry in the car real quick. We've all had our cry in the car moments. I'm sorry. I have. I'll say that I have. Like, ooh, ooh. You trying to like catch the tears before they like really like fall, and you mess up your face and stuff. And you're like, I gotta change my lipstick because I got tears in my lip gloss. Anyway, all of those things um are where I am. Like, I have to push myself. I also, and this is the other announcement that I have not made to anyone, like a lot. She said, cry a lot of it. Girl, yes. Yes, cry a lot of it, because real talk. Because it be a lot sometimes. It's a lot, guys. It's a lot. Anyway, and my show is only 1 hour on Wednesday. Every Wednesday, hits 92.3. There is a flyer loading somewhere that I thought I had pulled up, but I did not. However, it's an opportunity for us to be able to do our thing and share. And so if you have promotions, or that you would like to promote your business in some way, or there's an opportunity that you would like to see um, presented in another way, again, because I will be representing Cakes Apparel this Wednesday. Um, and I'm excited about that. That is Davina's business. Davina has taken um, some big leaps and bounds, and I'm super proud of her and all the stuff that she's allowed herself to be a part of and be connected to, and operated not without trepidation or hesitation, but still with an element of fearlessness, because she knew that she could get things done. So I'm super proud of her. Now, something else that I'm also, so the book, The Big Leap, talks a lot about being connected to your ideas and things that don't feel like work, things that you feel already connected to. So if we're thinking about our whys, and our whys are like not the letter Y, but our why, WHY. What are your whys? Like, why do you do the things that you're connected to? Who inspires you? What doesn't feel like work? Though, and that's how I want to be so connected and in tune to my purpose, that certain things don't feel like work. And so the reason why I even started continue the conversation on Mondays is because we were initially talking about insecure in those episodes and kind of doing a deep dive and dissecting those. But even with that, it was because I was having 15 to 20 people inboxing me, DMing me separately saying, "Hey, just what do you think about insecure?" And I'm like, man, I didn't already said this like 10 times. And I don't want to like cut and paste. So I'm like having these separate conversations. And then I said, well, why don't I merge this with the conversation I'm already having with Nyla, and let's bring it to Facebook, and then we can have the conversation together. And then it morphed or carried on because we didn't want to. The conversations were so good and so meaty. I was like, we got a little depth into these conversations. Then we can push it to continue the conversation. Nyla is focusing on her kids right now because distance learning is no joke, and I bless God every single day of the month, week, day, that every single every single minute of the day. I said day of the day, minute of the day that Sydney is a senior and I can't help her with their homework. Um, but I know that that's a lot. She got two kids, elementary and a middle school. It's a lot. Or high school. I think he might be in high school, child. I don't know. It's a lot though. It's a lot. Um, and so she has to bow out. And so it helped me to know that it showed me that I needed to be branching out more independently. Not that I don't need her and I don't appreciate her, but I need to be branching out and functioning as I should. And so it was challenging me. So again, I haven't made my second announcement yet. I know I've just been rambling, but I needed to get that out. Sometimes you got to just talk things through, guys. You got to talk things through. So somebody in the comments, please tell me what your why is. What do you do, even if it's not what you do for work currently, that does not feel like work? Tell me, let's explore that for just like a couple minutes. I'm not going to be in here much longer. I'm going to make my second announcement. I'm going to re-announce my first announcement, and then we're going to move forward and get out of here. But tell me some of your whys in the comments. What is your why? What do you do? How do you function? Is it helping people? Even if it's just helping people, that's vast and broad, but it is something. What is your why? What is your why? Think about that for a second and then type it in the comments. What is your why? How do you function? How do you flow? How do you think? Is it, I love making packets for the homeless. I love helping young girls. I love, um, I love playing with animals, or that if I could go and play with puppies every day, that'd be amazing. Not my ministry specifically, but that might be something for someone else. I just love talking. I just love talking. I just love, I like talking on the phone. I like taking pictures, or I like people taking pictures of me. It makes me feel that shine. So Gay Hendricks talks about when you find your why, again, it'll start as this broad thing, so you think about remember the little Russian dolls we used to see when we were younger. There was like the big doll, and they had the smaller doll, the smaller doll, the smaller doll, till you get to the little tiny one at the end. We used to play with those things ad nauseum when I was in elementary school. Um, and so when you talk about, I just like to talk, but also mean I just like to talk and speak into people's lives. When I speak into people's lives, I want to see change. If I see change, it helps to fortify my own growth and personal growth and development. Then it also helps their personal growth and development. I think I might be a good counselor. That's kind of how that situation works. And so it brings you to this full circle moment. And people might think it's frivolous, they might think it's flighty. Not the point. It's not their life. So explain to me. So I'm gonna start reading them in a second in the comments, but tell me your why. What are you doing? How are you functioning? How are you focusing? How do you focus when you're feeling the most joy? And think about if you could get paid doing something that you loved and that you felt was a joyful experience, because that's what we're really trying to get to. Ultimately, when we accept change, I feel like it provides opportunities to grow, because we're sweeping away all the other stuff out of our heart and mind to be able to actually get to the point of why we're here. And I feel like we're not just here to just like work, or if we're working, it should be benefiting us in a way that feels like a benefit, not, oh, I got to go to work again. Oh, I'm so bored. Oh, I hate this. Or you feel depression. You feel signs of depression. You're constantly tired. You don't want to interact with people. All the things that we go through, and I've been through personally, where I'm extremely unhappy, or you see other people feeling or experiencing injustices. Those are serious things. So let's get into these whys. So I'm going to look at the comments now. Let's see. So Shonda says to empower people. And Shonda is actually, well, you're an LMFT, right? So licensed marriage and family therapist. She already is a therapist, an amazing person, and has a huge heart. All right, Shani says encouraging slash inspiring people, which I believe that she already does. If you read her any of her Facebook posts, she is consistently just kind of opening her heart up and connecting to people and forcing people to think and have conversations with themselves. She also says praying and interceding for people, which is vital. We need that, need more of that. Can't get enough of it because, man, it's a lot. MJ, hey, MJ. MJ said making stuff that makes people happy and builds community and has to do with stories. So software stories, etc. MJ, I know MJ through my close friend Patrick, and MJ has a movie that was featured on Netflix for like 2 years called Down the Fence. So please Google her. She's amazing. Knows like she's like a lady tech person. Like, women in tech is not as common as you would still think it should be. And MJ is the business, and I love her, and she's amazing. So hey, MJ. All right. Vashti or Claire Iman says, I love talking, creating, traveling, styling, and I'm passionate about women's health. Oh, there's so much there, Vashti. There is so much there. There is so much there. Oh, you could blog, you could, become an influencer of some kind. You could start your own personal social club, things like that. Shani also says she loves helping people feel less alone. And I feel like you serve that purpose consistently, but moving into just something even more direct because I feel like even in your career path, you help children, you help young people. And that's so vital. But that may not be where you want to, your final destination. But I feel like that's an amazing start, and you already have kind of like that frame of reference. Davina says, my why is simply to live a positive and fulfilled life, leaving this earth with experiences. Okay, so what kind of experiences, Davina? Is it travel? Is it making people laugh? Is it helping people? Is it connecting? Like, if we're peeling back the layers of that onion, what, like, how do I get to, like, how would you be able to do that every single day if you could? Does it mean you just travel the world and go help people? Or, what is a positive experience to you specifically? Okay, Shani says, singing, of course, but for all the reasons I mentioned above, and it's because it blesses me and makes me feel closer to God. I can agree with that. And I miss singing a lot. Being in Georgia, I didn't know a lot of people, and then some of the singing opportunities or prospects, I didn't know if they were for me specifically, but I'm opening myself up again to those ideas of being connected to a group of musicians and other singers, and just recapturing those opportunities just to connect through music. Because again, that's how I met Davina. That's how I met Shiny and a host of other phenomenal people because I sang with them. They were, and they became my people because of that. And I think Davina added an asterisk, asterisk. I'm not saying that right. That will create lasting memories. Okay, so you want to create lasting memories. So those are all great whys. And so being connected to those ideas consistently, start rehearsing those things. So this is my why. This is my why. And I feel like things will kind of open up and kind of bud for you. It'll be like a blooming flower, a rose, tulip, if you will, that you can be able to see and experience for yourself. So for me, my why is to help people establish and discover a purpose. So to discover a purpose and then establish a strategic plan to be able to access that purpose. That sounds really good. I did not write that down, but as I was talking to you guys, I felt so inspired to share it in that way. So hopefully somebody remembered that. So I said to help people discover purpose and to be able to help them to discover purpose and to establish a strategic plan to be able to access that purpose or access their greater self, something like that. I don't know what I just said. Y'all heard it. Y'all know. Okay. So in that, and this is, my brainchild, or as Michael Scott will say, my brain grandchild that has been developing for a minute, but I was telling myself no because I wasn't ready. So like with the radio show, I was trying to backpedal, trying to procrastinate, and I just had to get some things done, and I'll have to figure out some of it on the way. And for me, I prefer to have everything planned out, even my spontaneous moments. Like, girl, we about to go wild and crazy, but it's like I'm gonna go wild and crazy at 7. I'm gonna turn up at 8. I'm gonna wind down at 9, and I'm gonna be in bed by 10. It's all strategic for me. Just real talk. That's just how my life is. Even if I don't share it, that's really how I think. And that probably seems weird to really type A insert because I'm not type A. I type A on everything, but in regards to creating plans, like I always have a loose idea of what's going to happen, even if I don't know what's going to happen. I'm like, this will probably happen, and I'll probably make it that, and that'll probably do that, and then he'll probably act that way, and I'll probably go that way. That's just how I roll. However, I want to move past that, and I want to start functioning in um, my own sense of purpose, my own sense of established or realized purpose. And so, in saying all that, I'm gonna need another drum roll, please. Somebody give me a drum roll in the comments, please, because I want to be able to share this. Because again, I'm pushing myself in regards to continuing the conversation. So this will be consistent every Monday. Also on Wednesdays, I'll be doing for the next 4 weeks. I'll be doing a pilot season at Hits 92.3. The name of the show is called Jesting in Things. You will see promo as of tonight, giving information, the links to find us, dates and times, how to flow, and through these 4 weeks, it'll give us an opportunity to be able to connect in different ways, and then moving on to larger things. So before I get to my next announcement, because I'm almost done, Davina said also the feeling of knowing that I allow everyone who comes in contact with me to feel loved, seen, heard, and or supported. That's beautiful. So how do we manifest that? How do we get close? How do we hone in? How do we connect to that for real? Shani says, I love being creative and all things with the arts, being connected to the gifts that God has placed inside of me and allowing Him to use them for His glory in the earth. So how do we dig deep, Shani? How do we? What did that? Well, if you could specifically do that right now, what would that mean? Would it mean walking around and hugging everybody, Davina? What would that mean? Washing a homeless man's feet? Because if that's what it is, we want to identify that. Anyway, I'm at 46 minutes. I only plan to talk for 30, but y'all got me going because y'all made me excited because y'all was engaging. Thank you so much. So, my next announcement that I have not announced to really anybody is that I am doing a 1 day seminar. It'll be in person and virtual on Saturday, October 24th. It will be in the city of Atlanta, and it will be called Focus Find. There will be more information. There will be an Eventbrite link set up very shortly. And if 10 people show up, or if 2,000 people show up, I am functioning and flowing and following my heart towards what I'm supposed to be doing. So this is where I am. I'm pushing myself, ready or not. Here I come. Jessica is moving forward in establishing and functioning in her purpose. It has nothing to do with anybody else. If the people I love and know support me, yay. If they don't, that's okay too. Because I know that this is more so about me pushing past my comfort zone. So even doing Facebook is still my comfort zone because again, you know me, you love me, you are connected to me. Hey Nyla, welcome girl. Hey girl. We're talking about finding focus and me talking, making a big reveal and talking about me moving towards facing my own fears. I talked about the radio show, talked about continuing the conversations, Jesting and Things is a radio show, and then talking about me moving forward. And in the next 6 weeks, I will be having my own 1 day seminar where we talk about finding, discovering purpose, and then creating opportunities to be able to establish a strategic plan to fulfill that purpose, whatever that might mean for you. So it'll be interactive. It will be connected to our goals and our dreams and what we want to see for ourselves. Will we find all the answers that day? Absolutely not. But there are opportunities for us to be able to do more than what we're doing. If we didn't have to, if we could do what we wanted to do every single day and it not feel like work, what would we be doing? So we were talking about earlier in our conversation about our why. What is your why? If it's helping people, what does that mean specifically? Is it washing feet? Is it slapping, men with gray sweatpants on the butt? If that brings you joy, girl, I encourage you, do it. Do it now, girl. Do it. Do it. Make it happen. And so I'm talking about, for me personally, moving outside of my comfort zone and establishing things that are bigger than me. And I have to move past the people that I know love me. One or two of y'all might buy, a ticket or something like that. But I need to know that I'm going to expose myself to the world, which is a huge and scary thing. So this is me being super vulnerable with you all. It's a big, huge, scary thing. But I know that it will be worth it because I know that I did it. I can't operate in fear. I'm not going to wait till 2021. There will be an in-person audience and there will also be a virtual audience. So if you're not in the city of Atlanta and you would like to participate, there will be options for you, a virtual option as well. I will be providing some learning materials. There will be breakout sessions. There will be opportunities to be able to do different things. And I want you guys to be a part of that. So once those things come up, what I'm depending on you to do is just to share whatever marketing collateral I provide. Um, and that's all I can do. Like if two people show up, we're gonna go in like it's 30 people showing up because the capacity, because of social distancing and things like that, I want to keep the capacity very small. So maybe no more than 25 people in house, and then everybody else. My goal is to get 100 people virtually. I'm putting that out there again because I will not be operating in fear. I got to believe that I'm going to get what whoever needs to be there is going to be there, virtually or in person. And I believe in myself. I believe in the goals and dreams and visions that God has given me towards what it is I'm supposed to be doing. And I want to move towards that full force. So I got 6 weeks to make this happen. Hold me accountable. And again, I ain't saying I'm not scared. I did not say that, but I said that I'm going to do it because I believe that it's a part of my purpose. It's connected to who I am. And I believe that the resources that I need be made available, the finances that I need will be made available, the study material that I need will be made available, and the people who need to be there will be in attendance. And I'm excited about that more than anything else. So those were all my announcements. Those were all my things. I'm going to read a couple of comments. Nyla says, you got it, Jess. Time is now. Oh, Shiny said, enlarge her territory. And I have been talking about this since I came to ATL. That is true. And Nyla sent me up a prayer. She said, God will send your tribe, girl. Your voice is for your people. Yes. And my people, they'll find me. They'll know who I am. It won't be anything, it won't be anything where I got to hide it. So, like I said, I want 25 people in house. I think I've already found a venue. I want 25 people in house because I want it to be intimate, but I also want it to be intimate but expansive at the same time. So expansive is the word of the day. Expansive is the word of the day, Shiny, because that's exactly what I feel. I want you to feel like I'm hugging you, but I'm hugging you all the way in New York. I'm hugging Nyla in San Diego. I'm hugging Shonda in Oakland. You know what I'm saying? I want to be. I think you live in Concord though, girl. My bad. Um, I want to be connected in that way, and I feel like I want to hug Vashti in Texas. I want to hug Tony in San Pablo. I want you all, and it's not just for women; it'll be for men and women. But we're going to be doing some simple. We're going to be incorporating some very simple tools to be able to find and establish our why, and I'm going to give you tools to be able to build out a plan to be able to move forward. So it's October 24th. If anything changes, of course, I'll let you guys know first. But just really quickly before I go off, I got, a couple more minutes. Just give me some takeaways from today's conversation. And while you're writing those in the comments, I am reminding you that this Wednesday on Hits 92.3, I will be doing my first radio show. Thank you, girl. You like my nails? Thanks. Thanks. The nail. What? Anyway, we cut up. Anyway, um, this Wednesday hits 92.3, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and of course, I'll put out some more flyers and things like that. But this week, Wednesday, 8 p.m., hits 92.3. It's internet radio, so I'll make sure you have a link. I'll make sure or you can log onto the Facebook channel. But in order, it's easier if you listen to me on the link because then it'll elevate my numbers and let me know that I'm doing the right thing. Hits 92.3. Thank you, Nyla. Um, First radio show. I'll be doing this on a 4 week span. It's just a pilot season to see if this is a good fit for me right now. And I'm going for it. Might as well, right? Then I'm also moving towards what I feel is my purpose, and I will be doing. It's called Focus Find, and so we will be developing focus and establishing a strategic plan towards you fulfilling your destiny, living out your dream, finding your why. And I'll have a more, solid way to be able to say what I just said later. But I want you guys to be connected to this idea because I feel like it's something that could help everyone. And so it'll be an in person. So I'll be live streaming this event. I want to have 100 people virtually, and I would like to have 25 to 30 people at the most in person. So we can have breakout sessions, we can get connected, even virtually. We'll be doing breakout sessions. We'll figure it out. And I want you guys to be connected. I want you guys to stay connected. I want this to just to create community and to build networks and to be able to find things that we're connected to that we didn't even know that we we had a point of connection. So let me read some of these takeaways. Let's see. Dream bigger. Shiny says, dream bigger. Leap larger. Expand. Focus fine. Put yourself out there. Oh, my bad. That was the name of the seminar. Getting your ish together. Okay. Fulfill your destiny. You deserve to do what you love for a living. Agreed. 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 100%. You deserve to do what you love. What makes you happy? We've known or we've seen our parents do backbreaking work for years on end. We hear about stories of our ancestors doing all kinds of things that did not bring them joy. And then we'll find a piece of joy and somebody will take it away, or you feel like you can't do it anymore. And put I want to be able to deposit nuggets inside of you that help you to know that it doesn't have to end. Life isn't over. Um, you don't have to count yourself out of certain conversations just because you've reached a certain age. Your body may be doing certain things. Other people telling you that it's not possible. Um, and I'm excited about what's coming. And I appreciate you guys participating and continuing this conversation with me. These Mondays won't stop. We're just adding a little piece to the pie on Wednesdays with jesting and things. And so I'll be placing, like I said, all of these different things all over my social media so that we can stay connected in this way. And again, I'm enlarging my territory. I'm becoming expansive in a way that I have not been before so that we can be able to see what real change is for Jess. I'm starting here. I'm practicing what I preach and I'm putting it out there. And the last takeaway is Jess is the boss. I agree. Thank y'all. We're at 56 minutes. So I'm going to end it here, but thank you so much for participating. The Convo crew is absolutely fantastic. And I'm excited to see you all on Wednesday. It hits 92.3. Again, I will make the link available. But thank you guys for continuing the conversation with me as always. I appreciate you. I'm happy you're here. And I love you as always. Have an amazing evening. You guys have a good night. Bye.